The Cold War raged. It was a time of fear, a time of suspicion. Nations stood on the brink of nuclear annihilation. But the conflict was fought on many fronts, not just with spies and soldiers. Technology became the new battlefield. The ultimate prize? Space. The final frontier. A place to prove dominance. A place to hide secrets. This intense global struggle cast long shadows, concealing truths yet to be fully uncovered by history. The stakes were unimaginably high, driving nations to unprecedented lengths in their quest for supremacy. Secrecy was the air they breathed. Governments operated behind veils of classified information. Information itself became a potent weapon. It was carefully managed, rationed, and often distorted. The public saw only what they were meant to see. Carefully crafted narratives filled newspapers and television screens, shaping perception. But beneath this polished surface, a hidden world thrived. A world of clandestine projects, black budgets, and untold ambitions. This pervasive secrecy naturally bred an undercurrent of mistrust among citizens. The space race captivated the entire globe. Sputnik's lonely, pioneering beep echoed from orbit. Armstrong's one giant leap was watched by millions. These moments were broadcast as triumphs of human ingenuity. They were powerful symbols of national progress and scientific achievement. Yet some observers and theorists believe they were also a grand diversion, a spectacular public show designed to distract from deeper, more clandestine operations. Operations that never made the headlines, for they were never intended for public knowledge. This era was a veritable pressure cooker of geopolitical tension. The intense rivalry between superpowers fueled unimaginable technological innovation. Paranoia drove the relentless quest for any conceivable advantage, no matter how slight. This fertile, anxiety-ridden ground nourished audacious plans. Projects so secret, their very existence was fiercely denied by official sources. Funds were covertly diverted. Resources were mobilized in the deepest shadows. What colossal secrets from this tumultuous time still lie buried, waiting patiently to be unearthed by future generations? We remember the iconic images vividly. Apollo astronauts proudly planting American flags on the desolate lunar surface, the entire world holding its collective breath during nail-biting countdowns. Sputnik, a small metallic sphere, confidently circling the Earth, forever changing our perception of the possible. These were the celebrated victories, the public, carefully curated face of the ambitious space race, triumphs of science, meticulous engineering, and sheer, unadulterated human courage. They were indelibly etched into our collective memory as defining historical moments. But was this the complete and unvarnished picture? Or merely the carefully selected scenes played out on the grand main stage of global politics? Could there have been another entirely hidden theater of operations running concurrently? Whispers and rumors have persisted stubbornly for decades. Persistent talk of missions far more daring. Missions far more secret than anything publicly acknowledged by any government. These alleged missions pushed the boundaries not just of existing technology, but also of governmental secrecy itself, shrouding them in mystery. Skeptics and independent researchers often point to apparent inconsistencies in the official record. They highlight curious and unexplained gaps within publicly available official documents. They question the lengthy, sometimes puzzling silences from national space agencies, periods where visible progress seemed to inexplicably stall, or to veer off in unexpected, peculiar directions. Could humanity have indeed ventured deeper into the vast cosmos, much earlier than the history books currently tell us? Were there other, forgotten footprints left on other worlds long, long ago? Official accounts are, by their very nature, often selective and carefully constructed. Governments throughout history have always guarded their most sensitive secrets closely. National security is the common, almost reflexive justification offered for such reticence. But what if the secrets involved were bigger than any single nation's interests? What if they pertained to humanity's fundamental place in the universe, or contact with the unknown? The powerful allure of uncovering such hidden knowledge is undeniable. It beckons us to try and look beyond the carefully maintained veil of official narratives. Project Redsun, a theory so audacious it threatens to shatter our understanding of space exploration. It speaks of missions deliberately erased from the public record. It posits a secret alliance, the United States and the Soviet Union, their shared goal to conquer Mars. And they supposedly achieved this feat in the 1970s. Imagine these superpowers publicly at odds while secretly, their scientists worked side by side. If Project Redsun was real, the implications are staggering. a profound truth remains concealed from humanity. Our investigative journey into this captivating enigma starts now. We will attempt to navigate the intricate labyrinth of extraordinary claims. Our aim is to critically scrutinize the theory of Project Redsun. We seek to understand what truths might lie concealed beneath the official story. To seriously consider the possibility that the version of space history we were taught might be incomplete. Could the Apollo moon landings have served a crucial dual purpose? While simultaneously, secret missions targeted the mysterious red planet Mars. Join us as we investigate the enduring legend of Project Redsun. Did human beings secretly walk on the surface of Mars? The Project Redsun theory suggests a partnership defying Cold War logic. Imagine the US and Soviet Union, locked in ideological struggle, secretly pooling resources. Their objective? A joint manned mission to Mars. Intelligence agencies, masters of deception, would require unprecedented secrecy. The potential rewards transcended enmities. The time frame? The 1970s. Apollo was winding down, but technology peaked. Such a secret alliance redefines 20th century history. What other truths remain buried? A manned Mars mission requires unimaginable resources. Project Redsun's theory suggests it was financed through black budgets, hidden from public records. Like the U-2 spy plane and MK-Ultra, these projects were real, hidden for decades. Why not a secret space program? Was it for science, militarization, resources, or a profound, undisclosed reason? Such a program implies a powerful deep state, maintaining silence through loyalty and efficiency. How could such a vast conspiracy hold for so long? If humans were sent to Mars in the 70s, what machine could have transported them? Project Redsun points to the Saturn V rocket, which carried Apollo astronauts to the moon. A Mars journey is more demanding. The Saturn V rockets would need significant modifications, like advanced propulsion and enhanced life support. The payload? Human beings. How could multiple Saturn V launches go unnoticed? Perhaps launches were conducted from remote, classified military installations. Wernher von Braun, the German rocket scientist behind NASA's Apollo program, was obsessed with Mars. His 1950s plans for Martian expeditions were decades ahead of their time. Some claim von Braun secretly led Project Redsun, using his NASA role as cover for a covert Mars mission. The theory suggests a hidden team of scientists and astronauts, their achievements erased from history. The psychological toll of such secrecy, especially for alleged astronauts, remains a haunting mystery. The silence of any supposed Redsun participants is either proof of a cover-up or, to skeptics, evidence the story is pure fiction. Project Redsun's claims are extraordinary, but where's the proof? Supporters point to grainy videos, leaked documents, and anonymous testimonies, none officially verified. Each piece alone is weak, but together they fuel a persistent narrative of a hidden Mars mission. The evidence is murky, indistinct footage, technical-sounding documents, and unverifiable stories. Our task is to examine these claims, their origins, and their impact. This isn't a search for a smoking gun, but an exploration of how secrecy narratives take hold. Ultimately, the Redsun evidence challenges us to question what we believe about our space history. The most dramatic Redsun evidence is the supposed video footage, grainy black-and-white clips of launches and Martian landscapes. These visuals are powerful, but none have been authenticated by any space agency. Many clips resemble altered Apollo-era footage or could be filmed on Earth with filters. The descent videos lack clear Martian markers, and digital manipulation is easier than ever. Pareidolia, seeing patterns where none exist, fuels belief in these ambiguous images. While intriguing, the footage falls far short of proving secret Mars landings. The mystery remains unsolved, the visuals unconfirmed. Redsun theorists highlight alleged 1973 mission transcripts typewritten, marked top secret, and filled with technical jargon. The dialogue mimics real NASA logs, but this realism is easy to fake. The most sensational parts describe strange structures or lights on Mars, hinting at alien discoveries. Yet without original documents or corroborating testimony, these remain unverified. The transcripts' authenticity is impossible to confirm. They could be elaborate forgeries. The echoes of a secret 1973 mission are tantalizing, but ultimately speculative. Anonymous whistleblowers claim involvement in Project Redsun, from technicians to alleged astronaut debriefers. Their stories, of traumatized astronauts and Martian ruins, are gripping but unverifiable. Anonymity protects real sources but also enables fabrication. These accounts lack names, dates, or evidence, making independent confirmation impossible. Consistent themes may result from shared community narratives, not truth. In the end, these stories are compelling but rest on faith, not fact. Most Redsun evidence surfaces online, not in peer-reviewed journals or official archives. Digital manipulation makes faking footage, documents, and audio easier than ever. The lack of clear provenance and rigorous scrutiny undermines credibility. Online echo chambers amplify unverified claims until they seem true to believers. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof, something Redsun evidence lacks. Without credible sources and transparent origins, these clues remain more myth than history. Despite doubts, Redsun's evidence, videos, documents, testimonies creates a powerful story. Each piece adds emotional weight, especially for those already skeptical of official history. Visuals and technical jargon lend authority. Personal stories add drama. The narrative validates suspicions of government secrecy and hidden history. Once the idea takes root, every new fragment feels like confirmation. In the end, the evidence sustains a mythos, a secret Martian frontier that captivates the imagination. The allure of Project Redsun extends beyond alleged evidence. Its power lies in its masterfully constructed narrative. It's a carefully woven story designed to captivate. The theory blends the known with the unknown, creating a compelling package. It presents a hidden history, inviting intrigue. Project Redsun offers an alternative, more profound version of our past. It transforms passive recipients into active seekers, empowering them. We are drawn to secrets, and Project Redsun delivers this in grand style, proposing a deception of cosmic proportions. One of the most potent aspects of the Project Redsun narrative is its skillful blending of established facts with bold speculation. The story doesn't exist in a vacuum of pure fantasy. Instead, it anchors itself to real historical events, real technological achievements, and real recognizable figures. This grounding in reality provides a crucial launchpad for its more extraordinary claims. It creates a foundation of plausibility that makes the speculative elements seem less far-fetched, more like logical extensions of what we already know to be true about our recent past. Consider the historical context. The Cold War was a genuine period of intense rivalry, secrecy, and rapid technological advancement. The Saturn V rocket was undeniably real, a marvel of engineering that took humans to the moon. Werner von Braun was a historical figure with documented ambitions for Mars exploration. These are not points of debate, they are accepted facts. The Project Redsun narrative cleverly co-opts these truths, using them as building blocks. It says, if this was real, then perhaps this other grander thing was also real, just hidden. This interweaving of fact and fiction is where the narrative genius truly shines. The speculative elements, the secret US-Soviet alliance, the covert Mars landings, the encounters with alien artifacts are carefully grafted onto the sturdy rootstock of accepted history. This makes it difficult for the casual observer to easily disentangle one from the other. The known facts lend an air of credibility to the unknown claims. The audience is led down a path where the plausible gradually morphs into the incredible without a clear, jarring break in the narrative flow. The power of what if fuels this entire construction. What if the Cold War rivalry was also a cover for collaboration? What if the Saturn V's potential was pushed even further in secret? What if von Braun's dreams were realized much earlier than we thought? These questions, built upon a bedrock of verifiable history, create a compelling alternate reality. It's a reality that feels tantalizingly within reach, a secret history that could have happened. This blend makes the Project Redsun theory not just a wild story, but a plausible alternative narrative for those willing to question. Project Redsun resonates deeply, tapping into a widespread mistrust of governments and institutions. History shows official secrecy and deception, creating fertile ground for hidden operations theories. Believing in Project Redsun provides a sense of possessing special knowledge, empowering individuals in a confusing world. It offers clarity and explains anomalies that official accounts might ignore. Humans crave explanations, and Project Redsun fills voids with secret achievements, providing psychological closure. The story's scale offers an emotional draw, presenting a grand narrative of humanity conquering new worlds and encountering mysteries. This evokes wonder and makes the universe more exciting, satisfying a need for grand narratives. At its heart, the Project Redsun narrative employs classic storytelling structures, most notably the hero's journey. The alleged astronauts, whose names we may never know, are cast as archetypal heroes. They are the brave explorers venturing into the vast, dangerous unknown, facing unimaginable challenges far from home. They undertake this perilous quest not for public glory, as their deeds must remain secret, but for reasons that seem even more profound, perhaps for the future of humanity, or to confront a truth too shocking for the world to handle. The narrative is rich with suspense and mystique, elements that are hallmarks of compelling adventure fiction. There are hints of advanced, perhaps reverse-engineered technologies. There are whispers of desolate alien landscapes holding ancient secrets. The alleged encounters with structures or entities inject a powerful dose of the unknown, bordering on cosmic horror or profound revelation. These elements transform a theoretical space mission into a gripping saga, complete with unseen dangers, potential conspiracies, and the tantalizing possibility of paradigm-shifting discoveries kept under wraps for decades. This structure, so reminiscent of science fiction epics and cinematic adventures, makes the Project Redsun theory inherently engaging and highly memorable. Our brains are wired to respond to well-told stories. We understand quests, heroes, obstacles, and hidden treasures. By framing the alleged secret Mars missions within this familiar and powerful narrative framework, the theory becomes more than just a collection of claims. It becomes an unfolding drama. It feels like a lost chapter from a grand space opera, one that just might have played out in reality. Ultimately, Project Redsun functions as a powerful modern myth. It takes real-world anxieties about government secrecy, combines them with humanity's enduring fascination with space, and wraps it all in a narrative that feels both epic in its scope and tantalizingly plausible in its details. It speaks to a desire for something more, a hidden layer of reality where incredible feats are accomplished and profound secrets are kept. Whether factual or fabricated, the story of Project Redsun endures because it masterfully leverages the timeless power of storytelling to create a universe of hidden heroes and forbidden frontiers. The belief in grand conspiracies like Project Redsun is not born from thin air. It does not simply materialize out of nowhere, a phantom of pure imagination. Instead, it takes root in very real soil, a soil tilled and fertilized by decades of documented government secrecy. Agencies like the CIA, the NSA, and even NASA itself have well-established histories. Histories of classified projects, hidden operations, and information carefully kept from public view. This undeniable record of concealment casts a long, pervasive shadow. A shadow where doubt flourishes and skepticism becomes a natural defense. This persistent culture of official secrecy inevitably creates a profound void. Information is power. When it is withheld, a vacuum forms. Human curiosity, much like nature, abhors such emptiness. We are driven to understand, to know, to connect the dots. When official channels offer silence or incomplete narratives, that void cries out to be filled. Speculation rushes in to occupy the empty spaces. Theories, both wild and plausible, begin to circulate. They offer explanations, however unverified, where officialdom offers only a cryptic shrug or a redacted file. This fertile ground, saturated with historical precedent for governmental opacity, is where theories like Project Redsun truly blossom. When citizens learn of past deceptions, of truths once denied but later proven, trust in institutions erodes. Each confirmed instance of prior secrecy makes future claims of hidden knowledge seem more plausible. The extraordinary assertions of a clandestine Mars program, for instance, might seem less outrageous. They are viewed against a backdrop where the unbelievable has sometimes turned out to be disturbingly true. This creates an atmosphere ripe for questioning. Therefore, this pervasive environment of suspicion acts as a powerful, almost irresistible catalyst. It transforms skepticism from a mere intellectual stance into an active search for alternative explanations. The very act of classifying information, of drawing a veil over certain activities, can be interpreted as an invitation to wonder what lies behind it. For many, the existence of such deep secrecy is not a deterrent to belief in conspiracies. Instead, it becomes a foundational piece of evidence, a sign that there is indeed something significant, something monumental being deliberately hidden from our sight. Theories like Project Redsun propose secrets that could redefine humanity's place in the cosmos. Central to this fascination is the promise of unbelievably advanced technology kept from the public. There is the profound human curiosity about extraterrestrial life. Project Redsun often intertwines with narratives of alien contact discovered and concealed. The concept of secret human colonies adds another compelling layer. The notion that humanity has already established off-world outposts in secret is a powerful, recurring theme. They touch upon our most fundamental aspirations and the very perceived limits of our current reality. the allure lies in the potential overturning of everything we thought we knew. Beyond the cultural fascination, deep psychological drivers fuel the belief in theories such as Project Redsun. One of the most significant is the human craving for closure. Our minds are wired to seek explanations, to find coherence in the world around us. Unanswered questions, particularly large, nagging ones like, why haven't we returned to the moon in over 50 years, can be deeply unsettling. They create a sense of incompleteness, of a story half told. Project Redsun, for all its speculative nature, offers a comprehensive, albeit alternative answer to these lingering puzzles. The act of believing in a hidden truth like Project Redsun can also provide a distinct cognitive reward. It can foster a sense of possessing special insight, a privileged understanding that the mainstream, unenlightened populace lacks. This isn't necessarily about smug superiority, though that can be a component for some. More often, it's about feeling empowered by knowledge, by having pieced together a complex puzzle that others haven't even recognized as existing. It offers a way to navigate a world that often feels chaotic and opaque, providing a map where others see only fog. This pursuit of special knowledge often stems from a genuine desire to make sense of a confusing and sometimes seemingly dishonest world. When official explanations feel inadequate or contradictory, alternative narratives can offer a more satisfying, internally consistent framework. A hidden history, like that proposed by Project Redsun, can suddenly make disparate anomalies click into place. It provides a structure, a cause and effect chain, for events that otherwise seem random or inexplicable. This search for a coherent story is a fundamental aspect of human cognition, a way we impose order on complexity. Ultimately, the human mind is a relentless pattern-seeking and story-creating machine. We are narrative beings. Conspiracy theories in their most elaborate forms are incredibly detailed and intricate stories. They possess characters, plots, conflicts, and resolutions. They attempt to explain complex realities through the lens of intentionality and agency, often attributing grand outcomes to deliberate, hidden actions. Project Redsun provides such a story for our recent cosmic past. It offers a narrative that is dramatic, engaging, and for some, more compelling than the official, often more mundane account. The power of theories like Project Redsun extends beyond individual conviction. It fosters a powerful sense of community. In an era often characterized by social fragmentation and digital isolation, shared belief in a compelling alternative narrative can create strong interpersonal bonds. Individuals who feel alienated or unheard by mainstream society can find validation and belonging within these communities. Online forums, social media groups, and dedicated websites become virtual gathering places. Here, believers can share information, develop theories, and reinforce their collective understanding of this hidden reality. It is far too simplistic and often dismissive to label those who subscribe to such theories as merely gullible or unintelligent. This perspective fails to recognize the complex human responses at play. Often, these beliefs stem from a rational distrust of institutions with proven track records of deception. They can be a coping mechanism in a world perceived as increasingly chaotic, dishonest, or controlled by unseen forces. It is a search for answers when official channels seem to offer none, or worse, offer explanations that feel fundamentally untrue or incomplete. This persistent quest for belief in something beyond the officially sanctioned narrative is, at its core, a deeply human trait. It reflects an innate yearning for something more, a desire for meaning, for wonder, and for truths that might lie concealed just beyond our everyday perception. Project Redsun, with its tales of secret Martian voyages and cosmic encounters, speaks directly to this yearning. It posits a grander, more adventurous, and ultimately more significant human story than the one commonly told. It suggests our potential and our past might be far more extraordinary than we dare to imagine. In the final analysis, whether Project Redsun represents a historical reality or an elaborate modern myth, its enduring appeal highlights crucial aspects of our collective human nature. It underscores our species' relentless curiosity, our inherent skepticism towards unchecked authority, and our profound fascination with the vast, unexplored frontiers of the unknown. These theories act as a mirror, reflecting our hopes, our fears, and our unwavering desire to believe that there is always more to discover, more to question, and more to understand about ourselves and the universe we inhabit. It is now time to step back and remove the allure of the Redsun narrative. We need to examine its claims through the lens of scientific reasoning. Extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence. Consider the immense challenges of interplanetary travel, particularly to Mars in the 1970s. astronauts would face months of cosmic radiation. Then there are the unforgiving laws of physics and orbital mechanics. Perhaps most telling is the profound silence from the global scientific community. This conspicuous absence of mainstream scientific engagement speaks volumes. Let us delve into the technological capabilities of the early 1970s. While the Apollo program represented a pinnacle of achievement, its systems were designed for relatively short lunar missions. The onboard computers possessed less processing power than a modern smartphone. For a Mars mission, the computational demands for navigation, system management, and emergency response over vastly greater distances would have been exponentially higher. Mission control would have been stretched beyond its limits managing such a distant operation. A Mars mission, lasting many months, would necessitate highly advanced closed-loop systems to recycle air and water. Landing on Mars and ascending from its surface presents entirely different engineering problems than a lunar landing. A significantly more powerful ascent vehicle would be needed to return the crew to Martian orbit. Communication would be plagued by significant time delays, rendering real-time conversation impossible. Extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence. The fragments offered in support of Project Redsun, grainy footage, unverified documents, anonymous testimonies, simply do not meet this high bar. For claims of this magnitude, one would expect tangible, verifiable proof. The complete absence of such physical evidence is a glaring hole in the Project Redsun narrative. The argument that extreme secrecy could explain this lack of evidence can only stretch so far. Project Redsun remains a compelling modern myth, a testament to human imagination, rather than a confirmed chapter of our hidden history. Project Redsun has evolved into a potent modern myth, merging science fiction with historical suspicion. It whispers of a past deliberately stolen, a lost history waiting to be reclaimed. The allure is undeniable, monumental events erased from the public record, hidden by unseen hands. This taps into our desire to uncover what has been concealed, inviting us to question every accepted truth. This gives birth to the concept of hidden heroes, unsung astronauts and brilliant scientists. Their sacrifices remain unacknowledged, locked away in classified vaults. These unknown figures become potent symbols of human courage, truth versus silence. This positions those who seek to uncover Project Redsun as champions of disclosure. It resonates with a distrust of authority and a yearning for transparency. Its enduring appeal reflects something profoundly true about the human spirit, our need to believe in something more. Even secret human empires flourishing on the distant crimson plains of Mars. It reminds us of our boundless capacity for wonder and the fact that we still possess so much more to explore.